The week-long non-aligned movement summit climaxes with a meeting of heads of state and government that will adopt the final outcomes of 4-day deliberations by senior officials and ministers. Key issues, including the member country unity and economic integration, are discussed. Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni assumed office as the chair of the non-aligned movement for the next 3 years, taking over from Azerbaijan.
Our stand is that the world should concentrate on the common human problems: prosperity through trade, the advance of science and technology to deal with human problems, the environment, crime, and terrorism. The future is bright if we act right. These are indeed the Bandung principles of 1. Respect for fundamental human rights and for the purposes of the principles of the Charter of the United Nations, respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations, recognition of the equality of all races and of equality of all nations, large and small, abstention from intervention or interference in the internal affairs of another country, respect for the right of each nation to defend itself singly or collectively in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations.
Once again, conflicts around the world became a pressing issue at the Heads of State Summit.
NAM has the capacity and the influence to contribute to the de-escalation of confrontation by promoting multilateralism as the core principle of negotiation and multilateral diplomacy as the means of achieving progress. In the area of conflict prevention, NAM countries can lead the way by upholding international norms, respecting human rights, and vehemently countering entrenched racism, intolerance, and xenophobic attitudes that provide fertile ground for terrorism and discord.
Trade wars and embargoes were also mentioned in the summit, with calls for integration and cooperation.
The non-aligned movement, faced with the goals yet to be reached and the many new challenges that are arising, is called upon to maintain a prominent and leading role in the current international relations in defense of the interests and priorities of its member states and for achievement of peace and security for mankind.
The non-aligned movement comprises 120 states around the world, with African countries accounting for nearly half of its members. The movement this year is seeking more influence in global affairs, including at the United Nations Summit of the Future, scheduled for September this year. The summit will close its curtains tomorrow with the hope that NAM will become more vocal on global issues. Adoption of new recommendations might also be the start of a new chapter for many nations, ranging from peace, economic growth, abiding by international law, and assurance of affluence in the future. Nick Mudimba, CGTN, Kampala, Uganda.